Today I'm going to show you guys my eyeshadow palette collection. Hey guys, it's April and welcome back to my channel. Before I get started with this video, I just wanted to remind you guys to hit the subscribe button down below. I'd really appreciate it. And also don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. Honestly, you guys, I have no idea how many palettes that I have or own or whatever. I do have a lot of drugstore. I do have a lot of high-end. Then I do have a lot of makeup that is like in between, you know, like a palette that's around like $20 to $25 maybe. I don't know exactly how everything is divided up or whatever, but I do have a lot of eyeshadow. So I'm just gonna kind of go through each palette and tell you guys how much I like it. Yeah, so let's just get started. Okay, so the first palette I'm going to show you guys that I have is the Sultry palette. This is my most favorite palette ever. I just really love the colors in this palette, and yes, I do keep the packaging on my eyeshadow palettes in case you guys didn't notice for an extra little protective barrier later so that they do not shatter, because that is like one of my worst fears ever. So these are the colors from the Anastasia Beverly Hills Sultry palette. If you guys are interested, I do have a Valentine's Day rose gold eye look using this palette if you guys want to watch that, and I also have a 3 looks in 1 palette video if you guys want to watch that as well, and I will have that link posted for you guys down below. Up next I have the Urban Decay Naked Original palette, again with the packaging. This is what it looks like, and also I have a 3 looks 1 palette using this palette, and I will have that video linked down below for you guys as well. I really love this palette. I'm just gonna keep it short. I don't know why they redid it. This was perfect the way it was, and it's such a shame, you guys. This is my second palette of the original Naked palette because I already went through one about like 7 or so years ago, and it's just sad. Don't fix something that isn't broken, you know? I don't know. Really sad. Anyways, palette number 2. Palette number 3, I have the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette, which some of the colors I have on my eyes today that I'm wearing. By the way, this is just a palette collection, not single collection, because that would just take way too long. I have 2 singles on my eyes, and then I have a couple of like the browns and like cream shades on my eyes as well from this palette. So this is what the Jaclyn Hill palette looks like. It is absolutely stunning. This is my second most favorite palette ever. It's just so gorgeous. The colors are just phenomenal. I reach for this like all the time. I'm obsessed with this palette, you guys. You have no idea. It's so beautiful. Cannot go wrong. My best friend got this for me, even better. So yeah, I really love this palette. Okay, so that's palette number 3. Palette number 4, I have the BH Weekend Festival Cosmetics palette, and I really love this palette. I have only used it a couple times just because I haven't really had the time to experiment with a lot of color, and I'm kind of waiting towards more of summer to use some of these colors, but they are so beautiful, super pigmented. I really love this. I've only had this eyeshadow kit for about like a month or 2, but it's gorgeous. I really love this, and the packaging is just so cute too. By the way, guys, this is not a declutter because I actually keep track of how many times I use an eyeshadow palette. So like throughout the year I have like, I'm gonna like have a little tally, and like I'll see how many times I use each eyeshadow palette, but I try to rotate them all at some point because I don't hate any of my palettes. I love them all. I use them all. They're all amazing. So anywho, I have a Wet n Wild Comfort Zone palette. This is the new formula version of the palette. I've used this like crazy. I know it doesn't look like it, but I really have. They just give you a lot of product for these, and these only go for around $5. You really can't beat that. Okay, up next I have the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. Really love this palette, although my cover sleeve has been through the ringer, and I'm so happy because, and that just kind of shows, you know, you should keep a cover around your palette so that they don't break. And this is what the palette looks like. It's absolutely gorgeous. I really love the shades in here. Again, I think I've told you guys before, but my favorite shade in here is the Luscious shade right here. It's just so beautiful. I will swatch that for you guys right here. So gorgeous. Really cannot get enough of that shade. I love the Sweet Peach palette. It's beautiful, and it smells like peaches. Like, how can you go wrong with a palette that smells like peaches? You know what I'm saying? So now I've showed you guys 6 of my palettes. Okay, moving on. Okay, let's do this one. This one is the Wet n Wild Hooked on Vinyl eyeshadow palette, and I really love this one. I'm gonna wear this one during next month for St. Patrick's Day because it has some beautiful like bronzy and green colors, so that'll be really fun to use. I like to use this one more in the springtime because of the color shades in it. It's super pretty. Definitely recommend this. Okay, up next I have the Smashbox Full Exposure palette, which I was recommended to buy by a coworker friend of mine. This palette is so amazing, you guys. The only downfall is the packaging gets dirty super quickly, which totally fine with me, honestly. It's super chill. This is what these shades look like, and I have used this so much. I'm surprised that I haven't hit pan on anything, but I love this palette, especially the gray sides of the palette and the silvers. They are just so pretty. I cannot get enough of these shades. They are so pretty. It's like, it's similar to the Naked OG palette, but it's just different in its own unique way. Like, I guess it just depends if you're looking for glittery versus shimmery. If you're looking for glittery, I'd recommend this one. If you're looking for more shimmery, I'd recommend the Naked palette. Okay, up next I have the Chocolate Bonbons palette. This palette is super, super cute. I had been wanting this palette for such a long time, and I'm so excited that I have it. I love this palette. It is so cute. Totally reminds me of Valentine's Day, which is tomorrow, but by the time I post this video, it will have just passed. And the shades in here are so pretty. They even match my nails. But yeah, I really love the shades in here. They are just so gorgeous. I love this palette. By the way, this is not a declutter. I love all the eyeshadows in here. I'm not decluttering anything. This is like the perfect collection that I've always wanted since I was like 13, and I finally have it, so I'm not getting rid of it. This is the CoverGirl True Naked Jewels collection. I really like the shades in here. The only thing is with this palette is that you will have to reach into other palettes to get some more matte colors in your eyes, but other than that, if you're looking for some really pretty jewel tones for only about 10 bucks, look no further than this palette. It is super gorgeous and I love the shades in here. Up next I have the Wet n Wild Petalette eyeshadow, and I'm honestly surprised I have not hit pan in here. These shades are so gorgeous. Perfect cat eye look too if you guys want to do like a wing liner. It looks so pretty and beautiful. The shades in here are just phenomenal. Look at that beautiful pink color. It's so pretty. I cannot get enough of this. It's beautiful, amazing. Highly recommend this palette. It's only like $3 and change. Okay, up next I have the Wet n Wild Silent Treatment palette. This is more of a natural taupe smoky eye. Super gorgeous. I'm in love with this one. I've almost hit pan in that little dip right there, and it's so pretty, and I love that they've included transition shades in all these palettes as well, by the way, just to point that out. Super pretty. Love this palette. I have officially lost track of how many palettes that I have. This one is called Twinkle Twinkle, and I got this as a gift about 2 years ago, and this is perfect for if you want some like bright pink or purple pops of color. Super pretty for that, but I have no idea where they got this. This is by the brand Perfusion, and it is cruelty free, which is cool, but like I've never heard of this brand or anything, so if any of you guys know, comment down below so you guys can tell me. Okay, up next I have the Rosé in the Air dupe. This is a $5 dupe. This is the Wet n Wild Rosé in the Air palette. I really love this palette. I'm starting to get more into warm tones finally, you guys, right? Right at the end of the trend, and these are super pretty. Again, great colors for Valentine's Day. Anytime you want like that pink rosy modern renaissance look, this is just really perfect to get that beautiful magenta eye look. Okay, up next I have this Urban Decay Midnight Emergency palette. It's actually like the cutest thing ever. It does have a lip gloss. I should probably throw the lip gloss away. Actually, I didn't know that was in there, but I knew that it came with it. But this lip gloss was super pretty. This lip gloss was the shade Midnight Cowboy, and if they still sell this, I'd highly recommend picking this up. This is an amazing lip gloss, but I'm really sad. I thought I'd lost it, but I guess I haven't. It's just expired, which is also really sad. I did hit pan on this color, and I did hit pan on this color as well. These are just gorgeous shades, perfect for on the go. You could get your whole makeup look done just using these 4 shades, or using just these 3 shades, whatever you want to do. It works amazing. I'd highly recommend this palette, but I don't think that they make this palette anymore. It is a couple years old, but it's just so cute, and I really love the colors in this palette. Okay, up next I have the Milani Soft and Sultry eyeshadow palette. Obsessed, you guys, obsessed with this palette. So gorgeous. Okay, so this is what it looks like. It has a beautiful like gold finish, and then these are what the shadows look like. They are so beautiful. This one is my personal favorite. I'll swatch this right here for you guys. Look at that. So stunning, right? So stunning. I'm obsessed with this palette. It's amazing. Highly would recommend. However, it is $20. It is a drugstore palette, but it is $20. But the quality of these shadows is just amazing. Amazing. I'd highly recommend it. If you guys are a member at Ulta, I'd recommend buying it there, because then you get your points, so then you don't have to feel as guilty. And then also they always have coupons like the $3.50 off of $15, or a free Milani gift with Milani purchase sometimes. I got a free miniature highlighter when I bought this, so kind of worked out great for me. Yeah, I really love this palette. Up next I have a Wet n Wild Not a Basic Peach palette. I love wearing this during the summer. The colors in here are so pretty, you guys, so pretty. I can't find colors like this in like any other palette. They are just so beautiful and peachy and corally. This is kind of a dupe, of the Sweet Peach palette, but I say that there's just more peach tones in here, which is kind of cool. So if you were looking for a palette that has more like orangey coral tones, I'd recommend this. If you're looking for a palette that has a lot of beautiful shades of all the different shades of a peach as it goes through its stages of life, then I'd recommend the Sweet Peach palette, but they are both phenomenal. The only thing is this one doesn't smell like a peach and there's no green shade, and then there's a couple other differences too. I do have a video on that if you guys are interested. I'll have that link down below. Okay, up next I have the Too Faced Chocolate Bar, which I'm very late on the trend as well. I just got this, I'd say like 4 months ago, but it ended up being one of my favorite palettes. It's so pretty. Still smells like chocolate. It's gorgeous. I got this for half off during the Ulta Beauty, what is it called, 21 Days of Beauty sale, and oh my gosh, I was so excited. I ended up buying this for my best friend also. She loves it, and the colors in here are beautiful. They are such a beautiful cool tone shades. I really love this palette. Okay, up next I have the Hard Candy. This was a dupe for a Huda Beauty palette. I did make a video on this as well, and the shades in here are amazing. I'm going to swatch these two pink shades for you guys. They are so beautiful. Okay. Like, look at how beautiful these shades are. They are so gorgeous. Definitely need to layer them though, but they are super gorgeous. I would highly recommend this palette if you're looking for a Huda Beauty dupe palette. I think it was the Rose Gold Huda Beauty palette, and this is also called the Rose Gold palette. So kind of like, you know, like, are they allowed to do that? I'm not sure, but nevertheless, this is a great palette. This is by Hard Candy, and I really love the Hard Candy brand. Okay, up next I have the Wet n Wild Walking on Eggshells palette. I'm obsessed with this palette, by the way, you guys. I've hit pan like a lot on the transition shade. The colors in here are just phenomenal. It looks like I might hit pan on the crease shade right here. There's like a giant dip in it. I don't know if you guys can see that, but the colors in here are just phenomenal and super just gorgeous. I will swatch them right here for you guys. So pretty. If you're looking for like a bridal look, I would highly recommend getting this palette. Again, these are only like $3 and change for the 4-pan palettes by Wet n Wild. So beautiful. I love this palette so much. Okay, up next, this is an oldie but a goodie. I just have this for like nostalgia reasons, which I'm totally okay with. So don't at me for it, but I have to keep this. This is like, I think the very first palette I've ever had, and I never hit pan, but I didn't know how to work with shadows back then. So I would really only use like 1, 2, or 3 colors at a time, just kind of depending on how I felt that day. Never really dipped into the black color because I didn't know how to use stuff as eyeliner back then. I did dip into the white, the pink, the green, and this color a lot, and this gold down here, and the brown and up here, and this gold and this light blue. So basically I dipped into everything a lot except for this color and this color. But this is just like nostalgia to me. I really love the look of this palette, and this is just the one out of everything that I have that I'm gonna keep just because of nostalgia reasons. So again, don't at me. I'm allowed to keep one for nostalgia reasons, and this is not a declutter. This is just a collection, and I really love how this is made of bamboo on here. A little bit of the packaging did get kind of ruined, but it's okay. That's just because I was a teenager and I was learning how to use makeup. So this is just kind of what comes with being a teenager, learning how to experiment with makeup. A super beautiful palette though. I really love these colors. Okay, up next I have this palette. This is the Soap and Glory Lid Stuff palette. I got this about a year ago and I did use it a couple times, and I really want to start using it again. It's like super pretty, like light smoky eye colors. I totally forgot I had this, so I am going to make a mental note to start using this palette, but it is super pretty, and the compact of it is just like so way cute, right guys? Like so cute. Perfect for travel too, which is really awesome. Up next I have this Urban Decay Gwen Stefani kit, which I love. I just sported out this palette, I think it was last week or the week before, and okay, the packaging on here is so cute, and the shades in here are so pretty, you guys. The only critique is that I feel like there's a little too much of the same shade, and then you have like your pops of color, a few smokies down here, and then like some really pretty shimmeries right here. But these like 5 or 4 colors right here, they all just kind of look the same, so I just wish that she would have done some like extra different colors, but it's totally okay. They're all super beautiful nonetheless. But yeah, it's super pretty. Up next I have the Take Me Back to Brazil palette. My boyfriend got me this palette. It is so beautiful. I love this palette for whenever I'm trying to get a super colorful look. And this is what these shades look like. They are super colorful. I don't do a lot of color on my eyes, but the reason why I really wanted a super colorful palette is so that when I have a day that I want, you know, like a green smoky eye for St. Patrick's Day, or like a pink and red eye for Valentine's Day, or like just something like really bright, or maybe I want like a purple smoky eye one day, I can just reach for this palette and have everything that I need, which is what I really like about this palette. But yeah, I don't do a lot of color. This is the palette that I use for when I'm using a lot of color, but I have started to dip into that other one, the Weekend Festival palette, also by BH Cosmetics. So I do kind of go back and forth between the two when I am using a bunch of color. Okay, so up next I have the Morphe 25B Bronzed Mocha palette. I was actually gifted this by some coworker friends from work, and this palette is just so adorable, and I thought it was so sweet of them to get me this palette. I keep this little plastic piece because it has all the names of the shades on here, and these shades are just so gorgeous. Whenever I'm trying to do like a brown smoky eye with some shimmer, I do reach for this palette. I love the quality of Morphe palettes, at least from the two that I have, and I love their brushes so much too, and I really love this palette so much, and I thought it was so sweet of them to just get this for me. It wasn't even for my birthday or anything, it was just like a just because gift. Okay, so up next I have the Wet n Wild Nude Awakening palette. This palette is super pretty. I consider this like a dupe for the Naked palette. Before I used to say, like, if you want a Naked palette but you don't want to pay the price or you can't afford it, I would say to pick this up. But now that we have like Naked Cherry and Naked Heat, it kind of makes it a little bit more complicated. But basically, if you wanted the Naked OG, the Naked 2, the Naked 3, the Naked Reloaded, maybe even the Naked Smoky, but you weren't sure which one you wanted and you wanted to experiment first, this is only $5. I'd say that this is a great dupe for the 1, 2, or 3, just because you get like a little bit of everything, and the colors are super pretty. I'm gonna swatch two of my favorites. Super pretty, super good quality, but I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this is my least favorite one out of all 4 of the 10 pans that Wet n Wild first came out with. Not any of the newer ones, just from the ones that they first came out with, the first 4. This one was my least favorite, but nevertheless still really good quality. I just don't tend to like reach for these colors as much as I reach for the other colors. Up next I have the Too Faced Cat Eyes eye makeup kit. My mom got this for me about, I'd say, like a year or 2 ago, and this is what it looks like. It's so cute. I really adore the packaging. The only thing is I have an issue wearing these as like a wet eyeshadow rather than dry, but I really like these. But another thing is they always say like this is like the daytime, this is the classic, and this is the fashion, but I feel like when I play with this palette I tend to just kind of like pick up colors that I think would go together rather than the ones that they say go together, and I just kind of like make up my own thing rather than like follow the 3 looks in 3 minutes, 3 steps, whatever. But also, and these 2 shades are pretty much the same, so I never really understood that either. But other than that, it's a really pretty palette. I wouldn't say that this is a palette that you necessarily need. This is just really good for on the go. You could find a lot of these shades, I feel like, in other palettes as well, but it is still really pretty shades. I do need to make a mental note to reach for this more, but it's super pretty. Okay, up next I have the Wet n Wild Lights Out palette. Honestly, I've only used this one once or twice because I'm afraid to do smoky eyes, but I'm gonna try to make a mental note to do more smoky eyes in the future. But the colors in here are really pretty. My mom really likes this palette. She has this as well, and this is just like super pretty, and I really want to start trying to use this more often. Okay, next I have the Too Faced Love palette. This palette came out so long ago, but I only got this about like 2.5 years ago maybe. I can't totally remember, but this is what it looks like, and it is so cute, you guys. You can't even tell me that these shades don't look that cute, honestly. And I love, okay, I'm gonna swatch some of my faves. Some of my faves are this coppery shadow, this green shadow, and this brown shadow right here. I'm gonna swatch these for you guys. I don't think that you can buy this palette anymore, but this palette didn't really get a good rep, but I love it. I've never had any issues with it. The shades in here are just so buttery smooth and I love them. And I probably will hit pan on the gold, copper, pink, the green, or this shade. I'm just saying, or this creamy shade up here I might hit pan on pretty soon, who knows, but I really love these colors in here. They're so pretty. I don't know why people didn't like this palette. I thought it was such a cute little palette, but to each their own, right guys? So it's okay. You can always like something that not everybody else likes. And my very last palette I have is the Sweetest Candy Wet n Wild palette. This palette is so cute and I really love this palette. It's just like some soft pink and brown shades. It is super pretty. Again, I'd highly recommend this. It's only like $3 and change or whatever. Super pretty, and I really love the quality of Wet n Wild eyeshadows. Okay, you guys, so that is it for my eyeshadow collection. Everything's completely emptied out. If you guys like this video, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. You guys are awesome. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite eyeshadow palette is. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a glamorous rest of your day. Bye!